Ever been stranded in your college town after graduation, unsure what to do next? This is Annie's situation during a hot summer in Philadelphia. When she meets Tyler and Danny in a pub, she is pulled into a love triangle which transforms her aimless days into a tornado of unexpected drama and emotions. Chestnuts is an American romance drama film released on 21st June 2024. The film had its world premiere at Frameline Film Festival on 15 June 2023. It was directed by Jack Crone in her directorial debut and stars Natalia Dyer, Rachel Keller, Danny Ramirez, and Cello Mann. Chestnut was also nominated for the Best Local Feature Film in the Philadelphia Film Festival in 2023, but failed to win. The film starts with Annie James, a recently graduated sweet and caring girl, talking to her father on the phone about moving to California for her new job. Her dad reassures her that while change is difficult, it is necessary to progress, and Annie finally decides on leaving Philadelphia. Later that night, she goes to a bar, drinking red wine by herself until she is approached by a girl named Tyler and her friend Danny. Tyler shows instant interest towards Annie, and the two hit it off, heading to Tyler's home afterwards for more drinks. Over the course of a few weeks, Annie starts hanging out with Tyler almost every night, bar hopping till morning and not attending her father's calls. She meets Connor and Alicia, both of whom are friends with Danny and Tyler. One night, Tyler invites Annie to an industry-only bar where she introduces her to the owner, Bill. Bill invites Annie to read poetry on an upcoming open mic at the bar, and Annie agrees. Afterwards, Annie and Tyler share a kiss. At the open mic, Tyler is absent when Annie performs, but Danny hears the poetry and really likes it. They go to another bar where Alicia and Tyler are drinking, and the group head out for another night, aimlessly bar hopping. As summer progresses, Tyler and Annie start taking their relationship more seriously, and Annie gets hooked on alcohol and cigarettes, often neglecting her father and repeatedly asking on extensions for her joining the California office. That night, Annie asks Tyler to come live in LA with her, but Tyler does not give her a straight answer and walks away. She meets with her old college friend Jason and considers not moving to LA to stay in Philly with Tyler and the others, but Jason tells her not to let anyone put her off track from her dream job. A few days later, the new hire paperwork arrives, but Annie just sets it aside and heads off to Jason's birthday at an open sky bar. Jason tries to set Annie up with a friend of his, Haley, but Annie notices Tyler at the counter and heads out with her to her friend's birthday without telling Jason. There, Tyler peer pressures Annie into having cocaine. Afterwards, Annie notices Tyler being unusually close to a stranger. Upset at Tyler for not taking their relationship seriously, Annie leaves. She goes ahead to have dinner with Danny, and they share a bit about each other before leaning in for a kiss. Annie, realizing that she is no better than Tyler by committing infidelity, apologizes to Danny and leaves. The next night, Annie enlists Danny's help for moving a couch, to which he agrees. Tyler insists that they go dancing, and while they're dancing, Tyler suddenly has a sudden emotional outburst and leaves, much to Annie's and Danny's displeasure. Upset, Annie goes to a bar where she meets a woman and has a one-night stand with her. Danny fails to show up the next day, and Annie moves the couch all by herself, feeling left stood up by him. She finds Tyler smoking weed outside a bar and confronts her about everything that has been going on. Tyler confesses her feelings for Danny and tells Annie that she does not see her as anything more than a friend, but does not treat her like one either, not giving her a straight answer and dodging the question once more. This revelation shocks Annie, who feels both betrayed and manipulated, and inside the bar, Danny apologizes for not showing up to help Annie move the couch, citing his argument with Tyler as an excuse. Annie goes with Danny, Tyler, and Alicia to an apartment where they all do cocaine, but leaves soon after. She calls her dad and lets him know that she will be coming home for a few days. She meets with Jason and Tyler one last time to make amends. As she is leaving, she drives by the restaurant and sees Danny, who glances at her with sadness in his eyes. The car drives towards the train station as the credits roll. Chestnut had a complex plot, and so it had a complicated message. The main message one can derive from the movie is not letting others dictate how you should live your life, and not allow others to discourse yourself from your ambitions and goals. Another thing that Chestnut promotes is to keep your feelings in check. Having good emotional control and emotional intelligence is also something that is encouraged. The performance was top-notch. Natalia Dyer succeeded in portraying an emotionally strained girl right out of college trying to find her place in the world. Her expressions, mannerisms, and habits all reflect how great of an actor she is. Rachel Keller as Tyler was also very good, showing that carefree one girl against all attitude with great precision. Danny Ramirez as Danny was one of the highlights of the film, depicting the nice guy caught up between a rock and a hard place. Where the movie really lacked, however, was the direction and execution. Put simply, there was no plot to this film. There were the occasional bar scenes and that's it. It feels like half of the movie was shot in bars. The characters, although portrayed excellently, felt very rushed and not very well put together. Sometimes Danny and Tyler were together, sometimes Tyler and Annie were together. Other times, they were just friends, and sometimes Annie saw Danny as her soulmate. This created a centered aura of confusion throughout the run of the movie. There simply wasn't enough chemistry for the trio's relationship to be labeled a love triangle. It was more like a troubled friendship between three people. There were scenes that did not contribute to the plot, if any, such as the scene where the group goes into the old guy's apartment or when Andy decides to go for a run. The ending also felt very uneventful, as Danny and Annie did not even get the chance to properly say goodbye. Another cringe-worthy detail was perhaps how clueless Annie and the others were the whole time. One night, Tyler was furious with Danny, and the next day, they go about it as if nothing happened. All in all, the plot and direction really lacked depth, world building, and connections. Visually, the film was amazing. Bars were carefully chosen to be aesthetically appealing while also giving off that aura of loneliness and mystery. The predominant white theme of Annie's apartment perfectly reflected the emptiness of her own being, while Tyler's darker character was often positioned in low-light, dimly lit backgrounds. The neon color scheme in the scene where Annie confronts Tyler complemented the emotional weight really well, and it took the scene to a whole new level. Each soundtrack and SFX elevated the movie infinitely. The music selection was top-notch, particularly the dancing scene featured a song by a writer called Nirvana, and we seriously doubt any other song could have done justice to that scene, in all honesty. Overall, there was little room for improvement in terms of music in Chestnut. The film did not do well in cinemas, and according to Wikipedia, during its initial weekend in the United States, Chestnut grossed $4,969 from 7 locations. According to Rotten Tomatoes, the film achieved a 47% score on the Tomatometer, making it one of the lowest rating films on the website, which is often easy to appease. Chestnut also garnered an audience score of 56% and fewer than 50 critical and audience responses. In conclusion, Chestnut portrays post-college confusion and turmoil in a visually attractive and well-acted way, but its implementation and plot logic are lacking. Despite the strong performances by Danny Ramirez, Rachel Keller, and Natalia Dyer, the movie lacks consistency and substance, making it seem disorganized and unconvincing. Though it was a powerful soundtrack and an excellent cinematography, the movie fails to develop a lasting impression with viewers, receiving a mixed response from critics and audiences alike. If we had to sum it up in one sentence, we would say that you're not missing anything by skipping this movie. And that's it. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel to watch the latest and most exclusive movie reviews. If you have any requests, thoughts, or recommendations for movie reviews, just drop them below in the comment section, and we will see you in the next one.